Hi students, this is your instructor Megan, and the end of the semester is upon us. In this video, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the documents that are due for finals week. So let's take a look. Your group will turn in a final project report, which will include a cover page, a table of contents, a brief description of the project, your user requirements, the final design alternative, your working prototype, use screenshots, evaluation summary of changes, and appendices. Your report really is going to tell the story of what you did as a group in this class. So you don't want to just take everything that you've done and dump it into a document. I don't just want to see everything I've seen before. What I want you to do is tell the story of your group's progress on this project. What was the project goal? What story did you come up with to achieve that goal? What user requirements did you uncover to achieve that goal? How did the requirements go from a list of requirements to a final design alternative? And then what does that alternative look like and how does it meet the requirements? What about the working prototype? How did you go from a design alternative to a working prototype? And again, how does that working prototype meet those requirements? Then I want you to walk me through all of the testing that you did. What was your method for testing? What kind of testing did you do? How did you approach the question sets in your testing? What were the changes or what were the results of those tests and how did that inform changes that you made to your final design? So I want you to tell me the story of your group's design process from start to finish. And then at the end, I want you to show me all of the design alternatives you came up with and all of your raw usability and evaluation data. So each inspection should have its own appendix. So one for usability, one for heuristics, one for cognitive walkthroughs. Provide all of that. When your final project report is at least drafted, you should get started on your individual post-mortem. This piece should be completed by each member of your group individually and turned in individually. You're required to write an executive summary, a 1 to 2 page report on the specifics of the design and storytelling process, including what you learned and what you would do differently if you had to do this experience again, which you do in 495. 1 to 2 pages on the user requirements. These are single-spaced pages, by the way, as per the syllabus. So write 1 to 2 pages on the user requirements, design alternatives, and prototyping sections of the user-centered design process, including what you learned and what you would do differently. 1 to 2 pages on the evaluation section, so what was your methodology, what did you learn, what would you do differently, and then a conclusion in 1 page that outlines how you're going to approach your senior capstone, which requires you to come up with your own project and then complete it. So I get a lot of questions about 495. What is it that I'm going to be doing in 495? Well, in 375, you learned how to take a story and content and turn it into something that people can experience. Turn it into a digital product that is interactive, and then you learned how to test that to see whether you accomplished your goals. In 495, you're going to go through this process again, but individually, so you will not have a group. And what you will do in 495, the first week, you will start drafting a proposal. You will tell me what classes you took in the digital media minor, and then you will tell me what project you were going to create based on the skills you learned in those classes. So if you took the video design, the interactivity design, the image design classes, then I would expect that your project focuses on multimedia. What the project is up to you. You create that. You draft a proposal to me and explain what your project is, what it accomplishes, and how it's important in your education on digital media. So what I want you to do in just 1 page at the end of your postmortem is outline how you're going to approach your senior capstone. What frameworks are you going to use? What is your goal going to be, or how are you going to understand what direction you should take with your goal? So give me a sense that you know what now is expected of you in 495 because you've been through this process as a group. Now, the 495 experience is an experience in which you demonstrate all of the skills that you've learned and all of the knowledge that you've gained in the digital media minor, but you need to demonstrate it in a way that also demonstrates you understand your chosen career path. If you want to be an illustrator, I would expect your 495 project to focus on illustration and digital media and to explore how illustration interacts with digital media and how the different theories in digital media, the different styles of presentation, the different frameworks, the different types of testing can be applied to illustration. So 495 is your chance to make a really kick-ass project that you can take to employers. So as you start thinking about how you're going to approach that senior capstone, think about what you want to do. This is your chance to do the things you want to do. If you want to be in marketing and you want to work in interactive branding, make an interactive branding project that leverages your skills from the minor. Do that in 495. What I suggest is that you imagine the kinds of jobs you want. Imagine sitting in an interview at your dream job. If you want to work for Google, think about what your interview will be like. What part of Google do you want to work in? Do you want to work in search algorithms? Do you want to work in marketing? Do you want to work in education? They do everything. Think about what that job interview will be like, and then think about what kind of project you would like to talk about in that interview. So if someone from Google is interviewing you and you're trying to work for the educational outreach department, imagine what questions they're going to ask you. They might ask you, what kind of experience do you have in online education? Well, this is your chance to work on a project in 495 that uses your digital media skills to communicate educational goals. So make a project that you can then talk about and tell that person from Google about and be proud of, and use as an example that you understand digital media and your chosen field. So I highly suggest sort of thinking about, first of all, what do you want to do? What do you like doing? And second of all, what is something you could make that is going to show you have understood everything you need to understand from these classes, something that you can take to a potential employer. There have been students in this class in 495 who have created something so impressive and so great that they have taken it to companies and said, here's what I learned how to do, and they have been hired. They've gotten those dream jobs that they wanted. This is your chance to explore what you want to do and the kind of career you want to have in a classroom setting. So think about that as you draft that one-page conclusion that outlines how you're going to approach your senior capstone. The only other question I frequently get about these final projects is on the final project report. How long does it need to be? You'll notice there's really not an explanation of how long these sections need to be. You do need to break everything in your report up into these sections. I expect a cover, a table of contents, a project description section, a user requirements section, a final design alternatives section. Everything in here needs to be broken out in a way that is extremely easy to understand, so I know when the working prototype ends and the evaluation portion comes in. And you really need to craft that narrative. Even your appendices should be broken into sections and contain narrative elements. So if you have design alternatives, you need to tell me why you didn't use them. I don't want to just see a screenshot of an alternative you didn't use. I want to see that narrative. We decided not to use this design alternative because blank. So as far as length, I can't tell you the requirements on length because I'm not looking at page count on this. I'm looking at content. I'm looking at your ability to tell me the narrative of the process that you just went through and how you made the decisions. I do get one additional question actually that I just remembered. For the individual post-mortem, you have to provide a work cited section, which includes at least 10 readings from class. When you discuss elements from class, you need to cite them. So in the first 1 to 2 page section where you talk about the specifics of the design and storytelling process, if you mention the research process, cite it. Tell me a little bit about it from your reading. Show me that you understood the concept from the reading, and then cite the reading so I know where you got that information from. When you get to the section on user requirements, tell me what user requirements are and then explain how you came up with them and cite the readings in which you learned what they are and how you make them. That covers all of the frequently asked questions that I get. If you have more, feel free to send them to me or to email them to me or to send them to me on Skype or Google Hangouts, and I'll start a document that everyone can see with my answers. And I'll post those on Blackboard so they're available to everyone. Hang in there, we're almost done. Good luck with this project. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and I can't wait to read your narratives about your final projects and how you got through this process.